Last year was quite the ride for JeffWITTEK, having to deal with the lawsuit against David Dobrik and the fact that it hasn't been an easy process, to making up with Trisha Paytas. There's just been so much that has happened with him. And Jeff decided to open up about the whole journey that was last year in a new video that he posted titled, "My Reaction to Idiot Being Sued and the Demise of Vlog Squad 2023 Recap." He talked about the good and the bad from the year and was certainly taking his chances at throwing some major shade at the Vlog Squad and David specifically. At one point, he was talking about how one of the things that he did this year was get to throw out a first pitch at a game. And in his video was basically like, and what are they doing?
Throwing out first pitches from my ex-friend group, nobody. They're all begging for money on TikTok Live and doing OnlyFans, selling pictures of their ass. Man, it's insane that the success we've had this year, it really brings me joy, but nothing brings me more joy than seeing the demise of my old friends that f***ed me over. God will punish them.
Once again, throwing out some shade to the members of the Vlog Squad who are on TikTok Live competing for gifts. And this is something that we have seen before, even from other members of the Vlog Squad. They've literally made fun of each other for this. So it's not like just Jeff is the one that's calling them out. I talked about the fact that not too long ago, Zane, Heath, and Matt were sitting down with Trevor Wallace and they were talking about people that go live, saying it's not something that they want to be doing, kind of judging how other people are doing it, wondering why it's so popular.
Why is everybody going live on TikTok now?
Apparently there's a lot of money. In it.
But like, I don't know how
we
much.
see him.
Yeah. Apparently the money is big.
Okay.
You make good money when you do the battles. That's when they're like all like, all right, come on, let's get us to like this many likes and this many hearts.
Every
Come
time
on,
I
guys.
see that, I need to see the amount that they make after one battle. Like, I just need to see what they're doing that for.
There is no amount.
Oh, there's no amount. I'll do it. There's no way.
I always cringe when it's like the four friends and they're all
professionals.
like committing to do like the live together. But I'm like, one of these friends has to be like, guys, can we please cut this? Like,
He's texting in the group chat.
So
like, made enough money yet?
Yeah, like one of them has to not be enjoying it.
Now, in Jeff's new video, that wasn't the only time that he had thrown some shade at the Vlog Squad. Any opportunity that he could, he was certainly taking it. And it came up once again when he was recapping some drama that went down on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast last year. And he decided to compare it to how bad the things David has done are, and even called him out for insurance fraud.
At least nobody got hit with a crane. You know, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Nobody got hit by a crane, blamed for it, did insurance fraud, and is now going to jail and losing their green card and going back to Slovakia.
Which the reason why he's saying this is because if you didn't know, it recently came out that State Farm Insurance is taking David to court over Jeff's accident because David tried to get them to pay for the accident, and they basically want to go to court to waive their responsibility of having to cover this whole situation. In reading some of the court documents, it sounds like the policy David has doesn't apply to what happened, and he tried to get it to cover it anyway. It seems like in the beginning, State Farm was willing to pay, but as more information was gathered, as David and Jeff are in court trying to battle it out and get some justice for this whole thing and hold David accountable in some way, it seems like State Farm was getting more information about how the accident actually went down and realized that the coverage that David has for himself doesn't match up with what actually occurred. State Farm is basically saying that they don't have to cover any of this because they feel as though Jeff was entitled to workers' compensation because they were filming for David's vlog at the time of the accident. And this would make Jeff an employee of sorts. Even if David didn't necessarily label him or any of his friends as employees, the accident happened on the job technically. They were filming for David's work. So the policy that he has doesn't cover the situation. He needed to have workers' compensation insurance in order for insurance to cover this accident. And it looks like he didn't have that. Probably because he was looking at his friends in his videos as nothing more than just that, but he certainly should have had it anyway because according to California state law, you need to have it even if you just have one employee. And like I said, when I originally covered this case, I talked about the fact that Natalie is an employee of David's. He also has Taylor. He's also had former employees. So he should have this kind of insurance because he does have employees. But I'm sure in his mind, he's like, like, oh, well, they're not in any danger. They're just like my assistant or XYZ, or they're just my friends. Like, why would they need, workers' compensation? He's like not looking at it in this professional setting, even though they really are all working for him. This is his job, being a YouTuber and filming these videos. It isn't just hee hee ha ha silly fun you uploaded on the internet. It was his job, and he needed to have the proper measures in place to just make sure that people would be all right if something did happen at his place of work. Even if it isn't the traditional, vision of work, it was important for him to have it, especially because he was doing such crazy stunts in his videos. But we all know that David just hasn't been the best at making sure that people are taken care of and protected in the working environment. So this is certainly not something he was thinking about. But as for Jeff, in his new video, he was talking about goals for the new year, and he said that getting justice for the accident is certainly on that list. But David really hasn't been making it easy, and there's been delays as a result of that.
One of them is finally get justice in my case, because this mother is pushing it back more and more, lying, getting caught in lies. Now it's just getting uglier and uglier. I want to get this wrapped up. I want justice, and that's something that now is pushed to a whole nother year because of this.
Jeff also did open up about making amends with people, saying that there's been people that he has met up with as of the last year that has really been good for him. He mentioned Trisha being one of those people, and Mike Sheffer, who I wouldn't say is in the Vlog Squad, but he's associated with the Vlog Squad. He's been in Vlog Squad content. He's friends with a lot of people in it. He's mostly around Carly and Aaron and Matt King. He does a podcast with them and also has a separate podcast with just Matt. But it was very interesting and kind of surprising to hear that Jeff reconnected with Mike in the last year. I mean, I didn't think he would want to be connected to anyone in any sort of capacity with the Vlog Squad, but it seems like he is open to that.
Try to meet with old friends and have uncomfortable situations that I would normally avoid, and I would ghost people or whatever for whatever reasons. Maybe there's a beef or like a friend in between that had caused us to separate. I did that several times this year. I did that with Trisha Paytas. I did that with Mike Sheffer I met up with. That felt really good doing that. Just having a good chat, no cameras, no nothing, just meeting up with friends and just catching up.
Jeff also did give an update on his health, saying that it's been a year almost since his last surgery.
I can't believe I've gone almost a whole year without getting my eye sliced open. That's nice. People take things for granted. You gotta appreciate the moments when you got two eyes.
Hopefully this is the year that he can get some justice for what happened though, and David and his team will stop holding up this whole process. Honestly, as much as I'm sure David doesn't want to pay up, because I'm sure these medical bills have really added up and it is really expensive. I mean, he's got a lot of money. His house is really big, but I feel like he's only making it worse for himself by trying to fight this whole situation. I mean, the whole reason he's even in this situation fighting it out legally is because he couldn't be a good friend to Jeff. It's actually crazy to think that Jeff would have let the whole thing slide, maybe not even have made it public, if David had just been a really good friend, which is terrible, because to just sit there in the silence and not tell what happened to you is crazy. But Jeff is a very loyal friend, as it seems we have all been able to tell, just in him opening up more content-wise and obviously doing Jeff FM. You can tell that he was very loyal to David, because loyalty is really important to him, as he's explained. Had David just been nice to him and been there for him and just showed that he values a friend, it really wouldn't have gotten this messy. Obviously, if he cared about them and their safety, the whole filming at the lake wouldn't have happened, and half the videos that he made wouldn't have been posted or filmed in the first place. But how he handled everything after the accident with Jeff, it really just sounds like there wasn't a lesson learned in terms of valuing people and being there for them. And now he's just in such a mess, and he's not even making videos anymore. This whole situation cost him so much, and I genuinely wonder what he thinks about it all, or if he's just sitting there happy as a clam because he still has his house, he's still got a lot of money, he's making money on Snapchat, but hopefully he really has learned from the situation. But that is what Jeff had to say in his recap of last year. I certainly want to know what you guys think about what Jeff had to say and what you think David thinks about all of this. Truly, I mean, it's just wild to look back and then see where we are now. And I think it really was for the best that Jeff separated himself from these people and has started something entirely new for himself and branched out and grown as much as he has. But I want to know your thoughts. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.